Hey guys, Kabato7 here, or Kevin. Doing a quick public service announcement for the 4th Battalion, 39th Infantry. This is primarily directed towards new members, but it's still important for every member to at least hear this once. This is being recorded on March 12th of 2013. It's going to be a little bit of a quick video. Well, it's hardly even a video. It's more so just an announcement. So, I want to talk about a couple things here with the release of the Arma 3 Alpha. If you're watching this in the future, that's when it's happening, by the way. Ta-da! You lucky bastards get to enjoy it. But anyway, with the release of the Arma 3 Alpha, our new games are going to be set up a little bit more on the Alpha as opposed to Arma 2. Not to say that we won't be playing on Arma 2 for our guys who can't quite afford the Alpha yet. And that's basically like we'll be setting up these games via the forums calendar. So if you're ever curious about when these games are coming up or when the trainings are happening, or if you'd like to schedule trainings or schedule games, you can go into the forums, look up events, and all the events will be right there, and they'll also be scheduled on the calendar. So you can just click on the calendar, and it'll give you a link from the calendar day to day to day to the events folder for each of these different events. So that's a new thing that we're going to be doing a little bit more often on the forums. And that's, like I said, it's going to be for Arma 3 and Arma 2. The games that we'll actually be doing, they can consist of like campaigns, custom campaigns, or even private games, PvP stuff, because I know a lot of people have been wanting to do that, and like I said, trainings and stuff like that as well. For the record, if you're getting feedback from my mic right now, I apologize. That's something we're going to have to fix. But anyhow, our dedicated server. Our dedicated server itself, I've been informed, it's not going to be able to get up on Arma 3 Alpha anytime soon, as there's a problem with Linux. Sorry guys, I'm going to see what I can do about purchasing our own dedicated server for Arma 3 and keeping the other one strictly for Arma 2, as per Anzu, by the way. Shout out to Anzu for giving us that dedicated server. Really, really nice of him to do that. We've also been using his Teamspeak lately, so if you guys want, go ahead and check out Anzu's War Games and donate, because he basically is helping us run the freaking group right now. Very, very nice of him. Moving on from that, the forums, as I've stated previously, I know I am kind of going pretty quickly here, but I'd rather not bore anyone with strict details. But the forums themselves, as you can see, are undergoing a couple changes. If you've got any suggestions for the forums, go ahead and leave a comment in like the FAQ, or even in the members room. Actually, it's suggested that you leave it in the thought bubble of the members room. I'll give you a screenshot of that so you know where it's at. That being said, we're moving on now to our new recruits. If you're new and you're just listening in on this, our rules and regulations and how to get in and things to know and stuff like that, that's just some of the stuff that I wanted to go over with you. We don't really have a whole lot of rules in the group, considering we don't want to make it much of a bureaucracy, but more or less there are some rules and guidelines that you need to follow if you want to be able to game with us, and that's basically try not to be a dick. I suppose that's pretty much what everyone always tells you. But all in all, basically try not to be a dick to people. And those rules and regulations come into like no team killing in game, don't start flame wars with one another. If you've got a problem with another member, don't start sitting there and insulting the other member like a kid. Go to an officer, go to an admin, or confront the person directly and say, hey, here's what I've got a problem with, or here's what I got a problem with this particular person, or like, could you please stop doing this? Could you please stop doing this? Or just handle it maturely like a respectful individual, and things will be a lot better. We've had problems in the past, I'm not going to lie to you guys, where people have been, well, there's no other way to say it, starting flame wars over this kind of stuff, and that's something that's going to stop, and it's not going to be tolerated. I'm not going to start just splashing bans out on people who start these little kind of tiffs, but it's definitely being looked at, and the more, in all honesty, the more these kinds of things that start, the more it hurts the group. So in all honesty, if you guys ever have a problem, if there's any thing that ever bothers you, if you've got something that's going wrong with your game, or if you have an issue with another player, we are starting to get big. We do have a lot of new guys coming in. We have a lot of old members. We have a lot of people who are still having issues with different things with one another. So in all honesty, that's just your forewarning. Just be respectful to one another, and we'll get through things much easier. These problems are mostly in the past, but I suppose that's just a reminder for our newer members. As far as other rules and regulations, that's pretty much it. No team killing in game. Follow orders in game, and this doesn't mean like we rule you, we own you kind of thing. It's more so just a chain of command kind of thing. As for any military group, or any even gaming military group or realism group, the chain of command is always very important, especially in Arma, considering if you have multiple squads and you need orders in order to get those squads coordinated and communicated in the same kind of fashion. For example, squad 1's flanking right, squad 2's flanking left, and one of your guys says, I don't want to go left, I want to go right, and he just goes right. Yeah, well, that's very, 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 very poor discipline. So that's the kind of stuff that you really, really need to work on. Not that that's been a problem, and it absolutely has not been, but if you have problems like that, then that's something you need to work on. As to say, like, don't screw around in game, like, follow the team. And for the record, we're not usually that strict. We are usually very easygoing, lax group. If you ever get into the Teamspeak and hang out with the guys, you'll be able to see that right away, unless we're in a game, in which case you'll likely see a lot of guys who are basically just talking a whole bunch of military lingo, and you might not actually get it at all. It really depends on the type of gamer you are. For new members, for new guys who are literally not only new to the group, but new to Arma altogether, that's not a problem. We have very experienced members who go all the way back to Operation Flashpoint, and that's the kind of stuff that I'm very proud of in the group. We have a lot of experienced people, a lot of people who are very good at training, a lot of people who have actually trained me, believe it or not. Now, I am a main trainer. I do a whole lot of training for like breach and clearing stuff, mount military operations in urban terrain, standard operating procedures, armor training, close air support training. I've done it all, considering I started off before I was an admin as a close air support pilot, and that's just something that I've always been able to do. So we do have some great trainers. If you're new to the game, don't worry about it. We're not going to be too hard on you. Well, we are going to be hard on you, but just enough for you to learn on it. But we're not going to start yelling at you or being mad at you or anything like that. We're going to teach you. We'll give you time. And if you are new to the game, we'll teach you the controls. We'll teach you the basics, the fundamentals, and we'll get you into the game. And I hope you'll definitely enjoy gaming with us, even if you're new to the game. Moving on from that, for our new recruits, the things to know, basically, the forums are your friend. They can teach you pretty much anything. If you've got a question, I'm sure you guys have heard of GIYF, Google is your friend. Well, here it's FYIF, forum is your friend. You can find pretty much anything out on the forums. If you've ever got a question, we have a frequently asked questions channel, so just FAQ that and look for your question if you have that inquiry, or you can just ask it on there, and I'll definitely answer those ASAP. Also, a lot of our officers do that anyhow. Moving on from that, I don't want to make this video all too lengthy, but also we're moving now into the forums themselves. Now that we're talking about that, the changes and the importance of the forums. Like I said, the forums is extraordinarily important. Pretty much everything is stored on there. We do have a website coming up soon from, I believe Cheknov might still be making it, but that's in the works. That's not to be announced completely until later, and hopefully we can get that underway. I'll be helping them out with that as best I can. Regardless, the forums will still be implemented, so the forums will not lose their importance if or when that does come up. And the things to know, the changes on the forums, as far as the things that are being changed, we're organizing a couple things. Members who have not been playing with us for a long period of time, or have not logged into the forums for a long period of time, like guests and things like that, will be removed. That's not to say they're being kicked, especially not members themselves per se. It's more so like guests and stuff like that. If you happen to be a guest, if you happen to be somebody who just visits the forums every now and then to catch up on the group, if you're an affiliate, and I'm going to send a message out to anybody who's been gone for more than 5 months, and that will remove all the guests, all the secondary accounts, all the former accounts, all that type of stuff, and just clean things out, basically. That's just a public announcement, I suppose. So now we're getting off of that. We're going into some of the really cool stuff. This is just to wrap up the video. I don't want this to be more than 10 minutes, but we have a new Teamspeak, courtesy of one of our own, Ranger's Voodoo, Ranger Video. I don't know why I always add an S to his name, but Ranger Voodoo. Shout out to you, bro, for making us a new Teamspeak. That's very, very nice of you. So if you guys are interested, he's basically offered to pay for it on his own, but I'm still going to hit him up and see if I can get a PayPal account associated with him, in addition to also throwing it out there once again for Anzu for all of his help with getting us our own dedicated server and that kind of stuff. So if you guys ever feel generous, feel free to fund the group through those guys. They're definitely helping us out quite a bit. As far as the new Teamspeak's IP, that's not to be announced until a little bit later. It might be in the description right now. It really depends on the current date and time, depending on when this is, when you're watching this. Right now, like I said, it's the 12th, so it's really not going to be out there just yet. Regardless, that new Teamspeak's up, and I'm just editing the permissions and making everything safe and secured, and then we'll have that up for our own personal use. That's a dedicated Teamspeak, so we'll be able to use it anytime. And last but not least, of videos, you'll notice that I haven't had any Arma 3 videos out just yet. This is pretty much one of them. There's some little screen snippets here of the Arma 3 gameplay. And mostly I'm going to be doing more Arma 3 videos soon. It's just with all this stuff going around, I haven't really had a whole lot of time. So feel free to record any game that you want. You can either send me the images via an email that I'll have in the description, or you can upload it yourself and just associate it with the account, or rather the YouTube channel. So that's definitely things to do. So this is actually peering over 10 minutes now, so I'm going to go ahead and end this video. Thank you guys for listening once again. I really appreciate your time, and hopefully you guys enjoy gaming with us in the future, or still gaming with us now. If you're a long-standing member, stay alert, stay alive, bros, and happy gaming. New guys in my squad, I'm not trying to nag on you, but make sure that whenever you're going into a building, you always got backup. Never go into a building without backup.
Alright, copy. Alpha 1-3 has just crossed the lake bed.